Oh my gosh, that's not good at all. This is my high school dream car that I bought for $1,500. It's in pretty rough shape inside and out, and as we will discover later in the video, it might just turn out to be a complete basket case of a car. So let's get right into it. I bought this car knowing that it has some lifter tick and misfires. So on the way back home, I was really easy on it. However, one odd thing I noticed was that in third gear, the car didn't really accelerate all that well no matter how much gas I gave it. Once I got home and thought about this, I realized this car didn't have a check engine light lit even when I felt the misfires. And for whatever reason, I didn't really pay attention to the light during the inspection because the car was always on and the check engine light was off, so I didn't think much about it. So I turned the ignition to the on position, and sure enough, yep, that check engine light bulb is definitely out. Meaning either the bulb is burnt or the bulb was removed at some point. I always give the benefit of the doubt, so I don't want to think that the seller removed it, but I gotta check anyway, right? Okay, let's remove it somehow, gently. With my luck, the last one's gonna get stuck. Oh, not bad. So it was like this. I honestly can't even tell which one's burnt or not. That's how much of a noob I am trying to do this. I'm gonna switch the bottom two for now. Might or might not be a good idea, but so let's see. Huh? Still nothing. Does this not have a light or what? Okay, so now so since I swapped some bulbs, I should have something now. Oh, and then still nothing. I might be going crazy, but the good bulbs that used to be in the airbag and the oil light does not work when they are in the check engine light socket. So I don't know if the connection or the socket was messed with, but I decided not to worry right now since even if the physical light doesn't work, there's gotta be codes stored in there. So I ran the codes and this is what I got. Usually for misfires, the things to check are the plugs and coils, but after consulting with some buddies, I concluded to check the timing since only cylinders 1, 3, and 5 were misfiring. To see the timing marks, I need to remove this timing cover, and in order to do that, I need to get a wrench in the square hole on the serpentine belt tensioner, only to find that my tensioner is broken where that square hole is supposed to be. I decided to hold off on this because even if I miraculously got the belt off, I need a new tensioner anyway, so since I can't take off the timing cover today, I'm just going to remove this intake manifold and check out the spark plugs in the back just in case. They should be new, but you never know. So the front ones are NGK-Rs, but the rear three are Bosch R6s, and from what I've just read on the forum, these are really bad for the Delta engines. They cause misfires all the time. So I'm really glad that I opened these up. Another thing is that, not to mention this is like completely black, but they are kind of oily, so I think maybe the seals are bad. Yeah, like this. Very, very oily. So I went and got some NGK iridiums. I got 6 of them. I'm just gonna replace all of it just so I can get it over with. And we'll see how the car runs afterwards.
Goodbye.
Another thing I noticed was one of the air intake pipe clamp was so loose that I can just move it with not much effort at all. This can't be good because it's after the MAP sensor and that could be causing issues. I didn't have a clamp on hand, so I removed this one right here and moved it there because this one is pretty tight. And the last thing before starting the car, an oil change. Oh man, why is it so... I don't know if you guys can see, but it's kind of gray. That's not a good sign, is it? And it's overfilled around right there. Kind of curious what the filter looks like then, because these are very sensitive to filters. I heard the ticking noise can be caused by a non-OEM filter or a bad quality filter. So let's see what kind of filter this has. And the previous owner gave me this. This is a oil pressure sensor switch. So I'm gonna replace that while I'm in there. It's right next to the filter. This oil cap is so loose, I can just open it with one finger. That's as far as it goes. I don't know if it's supposed to be like that. Maybe this is a non-Hyundai part. So that's weird. First suspicious point, this filter, I looked at the other side and it's a micro guard filter. So that is not one of the recommended ones by Hyundai. And that is a good sign because that means this might be the reason for the ticking. Also, there is oil leak. Also kind of looks like it was kind of dented right here. And it looks like the oil pan might be leaking. The belt looks good, so that's a good sign. Is that flywheel supposed to be exposed like that? And then there's some scoring on the mating surface here. Anyways, I will drain the oil now. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's not good at all. That's not good at all. So there's definitely metal shavings in here. Yeah, you see, yeah, there's a big one right there on the top. Those are all metal. Kind of hard to see on camera, but definitely there's metal. Oh boy. This is like a really awkward angle for a oil fill. You guys saw that oil color and the metal flakes in there, so I think this motor is toast. I think what happened was whoever did the rebuild missed a tooth when they were putting the timing belt back on, and the previous owner told me he drove it for another 1,000 miles. So within those miles, he damaged the engine. So I've been thinking, how can I turn this into something positive? And what I think I'm going to do is try my first ever engine removal. I think as a DIY garage, I don't want to call myself a mechanic, but a tinkerer, engine removal is something that I've always wanted to do. And I think right now this scenario is turning out to be a perfect opportunity for something like that. So in the meantime, I will search for an engine or a parts car. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to try to restore pretty much everything else except the engine. This kind of didn't turn out the way I wanted. My scenario was I fixed the ticking and the misfire and then restore everything else. But you know, restoring cars is always a journey. Buying used cars is always a risk. So this is kind of the situation now, and I'm going to take it positively and see what I can do and see what I can make out of it. So that's it for this video. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.